Hey guys, ETP Duelist here. Today I'm going to talk about why I think Cardcar is kind of bullshit. And I'm sure you think I'm crazy, but if you watch the video, you might disagree with my points. Okay, first off, it's the best opening move of the game. Cardcar is just my favorite play. I'll play Cardcar, I'll set a card, use Cardcar's effect. I just went +1, and if you go first, now you're +2 over your opponent. Because if you go first in Yu-Gi-Oh, you are inherently one card ahead of them all the time anyway. So that's friggin' major right there. If you have Wabaku or Threatening War protecting you, and your opponent blind MSTs, they kind of go -1. I mean, yeah, it went card for card, but now their turn's kind of wasted. They know they can't do anything. Blind MST's bad, but what about things like Lila or Breaker, They just wasted a monster ability and kind of screwed their monster. So that's just more advantage for the Cardcar player. And another thing is, if they waste a Mystical Space Spoon, and yes, Blind MST is bad regardless, but if they do that, they lost theirs just for later plays. And late game, it's kind of a rush for who can get Cardcar, just like it was with Pot of Greed. Everybody's reason for Pot of Greed being bad was that at the time, it was because whoever top decked it had a really good advantage over their opponent. And a big thing was people figured out, well, if you get Pot of Greed late game when resources are scarce, you just have it all over your opponent. And that's kind of the same deal with Cardcar. Yes, Cardcar wastes your normal summon, and yes, you instantly end your turn, so they could come back and kill you. But that's any card. If I have a high-level card on my deck, let's say, and I draw late game, yeah, that's going to screw me just as much as Cardcar would if my opponent gets a monster to kill me. But Cardcar is a little bit of risk, but for a lot of gain. Because if they don't kill you next turn, you drew to 2 cards, you're going to draw to a 3rd card. That's crazy, right there. Cardcar, unlike Pot of Greed, allows you to have a good answer for if an opponent has Cardcar. So, for example, if you play Cardcar, use its effect, you could draw a Devailer, which now gives you an opposing play to their Cardcar. That didn't even happen with Pot of Greed. The only answer for Pot of Greed was Imperial Order. So Cardcar even has some advantages. It has good synergy with Dragon Ruler decks. You can pitch Cardcar for Redox's Revival effect. That is amazing synergy. So you can use a Cardcar, gain 2, and then if you draw a Cardcar and Redox, use Redox's effect, discard Cardcar, bring back Darkness Metal. You could even just use Redox effect, discard Cardcar, and bring back your Redox defense mode so you don't have to banish anything. Then you have 2 Cardcar in the graveyard. Like, jeez. Wasting a normal summon for a turn is fine when there's so many defensive and offensive traps and hand trap options. For example, you could set if you play Cardcar, you could set Mirror Force. You could set something like Fetus Change to prevent your opponents from just OTKing you. And they got things like Swift Scarecrow. Like, even decks that don't run traps can run something like Swift Scarecrow or Battle Fader and be just fine with playing Cardcar. I mean, really, if you have Battle Fader, you go, again, more plus. They committed everything to the board, so you can just retaliate against them, and you're fine. Cardcar makes +1 decks plus more, and this is pretty obvious. Things like Chain Beat and Fire Fist, and in some cases, Fire King. And it gives OTK decks quick, reliable access to OTKs. Play Cardcar if you're Heretics. You know you're just drawing into your pieces. Like, you draw 2, and then next turn you're drawing to a 3rd. That's really big when you're talking OTK deck. Like, people with regular decks might not think that's a big deal. But if you're playing a deck that plays 3 of everything, like Heretic, you know exactly what Cardcar is doing for you. I think this card just shits all over Upstart Goblin. I don't know why people, overrate Upstart Goblin. 2 Cardcar in a deck that runs 3 Upstart Goblin will probably do you better. Not 3 Cardcar necessarily, but I think 2, because it's going to give you that same kind of draw engine, but unlike Reckless Greed, Cardcar isn't going to stop you from drawing later on, and unlike Upstart Goblin, Cardcar is just an immediate plus. Yeah, I know, Upstart Goblin is harder to stop, and Upstart Goblin is an instant access to another card, but really, taking away 1 turn to help draw to your pieces, that just makes more sense. Just to summarize why Cardcar is kind of bullshit, just think about it this way. If Cardcar was limited, would you think Cardcar is bullshit? Because if Cardcar is limited, then you and your opponent both, again, are really trying to draw into the Cardcar D first. And if you think that about a card, then that card should be banned. No question. Because if it's giving you an unfair advantage, if it's limited, then it's giving you an unfair advantage just as much if it's unlimited. Our game without Cardcar D is more skillful, it's fresh line. I'm going for this pure, dumb, quick, splashable, instant card advantage. Like, I'm sorry, but there should not be a generic card that can just be tossed in any deck that gives you +1. That's bullshit. Thanks for watching. What video should I do next? I need to get some water.